next generation of easy breezy beautiful is you. CoverGirl.
Just a few familiar household names that are involved in the process of testing on animals in the United States.
For life's bleachable moments.
Clean and clear and under control.
How your fellow miners may feel about this issue.
I don't think it's right. They're not very careful with them. They don't really care what happens to them because in the end they're just
In my own opinion, I don't like animal testing. I think there should be some sort of alternative method.
I think that it's wrong to be using them and hurting the animals in the process.
I think animals obviously can't speak for themselves, but I think it's very wrong to do.
I know that it's usually done for cosmetic reasons and medical reasons.
They do a lot of bad things to them. They cut them up and inject them with things that they don't really know are gonna do to them.
I know that it's mostly the cosmetic and health industries that use it.
So we all live different lifestyles. Some of us smoke, some of us drink, some of us eat too much. And that all affects the biology of the person who has cancer. We really don't have the animal models to fine-tune all those different biologies that we see in the human. And actually to do it by animal research would be very, very expensive. And we've had to do it in the past, and animals have been very valuable for developing some cancer therapies. But we're reaching a time when we need to start thinking outside the box and developing better human-related models, because after all, it's humans we treat in the clinic. It's not mice.
There are certainly limitations in using rodents. A recent study has identified literally millions of small genetic differences between different highly inbred strains of mice. The problem I have is that I don't know which strain of mice having which particular genetic variation will actually translate functionally to humans. That's why we have to study human tissues, to translate and understand the value or lack of value of these animal studies.
Mice have an entirely different anatomy in terms of their lungs and the way that they breathe compared to people. So it's really difficult to use a mouse to model a respiratory disease that happens in people.
And what can you predict about the future in animal testing?
Hopefully more humane and logical testing of animals.
Well, of course, that's very unpredictable, but hopefully they will first make it more humane and maybe limit it, or maybe even find new technology so that we don't even have to use animal testing.
Okay, thank you.
Well, you know, it's hard to tell. I've heard of lots of stories that are inhumane when we're testing with animals. I hope that we can get to methods that are, you know, more humane, obviously, and something that's more effective for the tests that we do nowadays.
The new European regulation on chemicals encourages the use of alternative methods and the avoidance of duplication of tests. Legislation on cosmetics goes further by progressively phasing in a ban on the marketing of cosmetics containing ingredients tested on animals. This has created incentives for the development of alternative approaches that are at least as good as animal tests and potentially more cost-effective. Tests on human cells promise to deliver much more reliable results for predicting toxicity to humans than tests on laboratory animals. Thus, an important contribution to enhancing consumer protection. A particularly promising field of research lies in human stem cells, for example those harvested from umbilical cord blood. By growing stem cells on different culture media, it is possible to predefine the cell type into which they differentiate, for example liver cells, lung cells or neurons. Also, with the help of nanotechnology, suitable surfaces are developed that support the development of specific cell types, even in a way that three-dimensional structures of tissues or organs can be created. As a result, the effects of chemicals can be directly tested on the actual cells of the potentially targeted organs.